And we are live. My name is Nico Lagan, and I'm too conservative for the conservative. My co-host, Rob Ambrose, is not woke enough for the liberals, so we are the Political Orphans. The top stories of the day. This is not a surprise, but we are going to speak about Canada reacting to Charlie Kirk's assassination. Carney's gun buyback program is sparking confiscation fears. We have some updates regarding Daniel Senecal, and at 8:15, we are supposed to be joined by the organizer of the Canada First rally that is taking place this weekend, September 13th, Joe Anidjar, but we might have a cancellation. So I don't know. I will confirm during the show, but get your comments ready because the show starts now. What's going on, man?
What's happening, brother? How was your day? Pretty crazy. This Charlie Kirk thing, man. Holy, that's everywhere, right?
Yeah, I was on Jason Levine's podcast this morning.
Yep.
And I was there with David, what is it? Is it
Dacey?
Chris Dacey. Chris Dacey. And he was supposed to be on the show. I got invited to speak about Charlie Kirk. And yeah, it's
crazy.
You know, it's a mess, man. It's just a mess.
People that have no, like, I've never heard them talk about politics at all are talking about Charlie Kirk. It's just, it definitely has penetrated outside of the sort of political social media circles. It's in the mainstream, which is, you know, that's not easy to do. Typically, the mainstream is saturated with like Kardashians and sports, right?
Yeah.
Or like big picture stuff like presidential election when you're talking about politics. But like the minutia, the everyday battles that we talk about every day here, most people just have no idea. You know, that it's just a kind of a clueless population. Like if you went and told most people that a judge in Ontario gave a new migrant a break on sentencing for he was arrested because he tried to have sex with his 15-year-old, and the judge gave him a break on sentencing so that his immigration status would not be affected. If you told most people that, they'd be shocked. They'd be like, "No, that's not happening." It's like, no, motherfuckers, it is happening. So yeah, for this to break through that barrier, that's a tough thing to do for a political story.
But the thing is it really political? At the end of the day, that's the real question, right?
I think you're right. That's why it broke through, because it's not actually, well, it is, but it's also much deeper.
Because technically, he wasn't a political figure because he's not in a member of any party per se.
Yes,
but he was associated with the Republicans. He was he knew Trump personally. Clearly, he knew who's who.
Yes,
in politics for what's his name, Gavin Newsom, to even mourn his death. Like it just tells you, because he was in
the arena for sure. He's in the political arena, absolutely.
Yeah, but I don't even know what would be the right way to describe this guy.
Activist, maybe?
Because that's how they're calling it, like a conservative activist. But yeah. I don't know how to describe that man. I don't know how to describe him. He's, you know, he refers to himself as a father, a husband, but above all, he was a Christian. Like if you listen to him, he did what he did because he was a Christian. So I think it's the best way to describe him. But it's hard. He's one of those guys that is so polarizing. Whoever you are, you know who Charlie Kirk is. Yeah. Doesn't matter that you're a leftist, a centrist, a rightist, and everybody has an opinion about it as well. But this is what's very interesting about a guy like him, is everybody has an opinion.
But the funny thing about Charlie Kirk specifically is everybody has an opinion, but very few people have actual information. Most people are getting their opinions from other people, either the media or like I'm shocked how many people I saw today, both in like the people I talked to in real life that have heard about it. You know, my parents who are, you know, we haven't talked about them in a while, but if you're a longtime viewer, you'll know my parents are pretty standard liberal boomers, like not any type of activists or whatever, just like garden variety. They vote liberal because that's just what they do. You know, they have top line takes on politics, but they just don't get into the weeds of it. They just don't care that much. They're the average Canadian. But yeah, we were talking about it today, and you know, my stepdad had the line that you hear all the time, like, oh, well, you know, basically, but I don't support it, because obviously he's very clearly anti-violence, and he made clear that he didn't support that. It was like, but when people, say spout hate and what, and I'm like, yeah, but he's not actually spouting hate. Like, that's what the media is telling them, right? Like I made the point the other day that the boomers seem to be almost in a weird way sort of radicalized as a generation, in a very boomer style. But I don't think it's coincidence that they're the only demographic that continues to get the majority of their news and information from traditional media. Everyone else, if you're 50 and younger, you're gonna get a mix of news, right? Social media, you'll consume some mainstream news sources, but you'll balance them out with other ones. And just, I think that style gives you a much more well-informed picture. But boomers are still living in that mainstream media bubble, and they just believe what they're told. My parents aren't political enough to go out and look for Charlie Kirk's Twitter. They don't know what he's actually saying. They're not watching, those clips that come across your ex social media feed all the time of him giving some speech somewhere, that we've been seeing, especially today and yesterday, where he just comes off as a decent guy. I posted a clip there the other day where he was talking to someone on the other side, but he just had obvious compassion for the guy. And there's you hear the same stuff. Oh, he's racist and he's homophobic. I saw a black gay guy who was in Turning Point USA made a post talking about how when he was on stage at one of the big, maybe CPAC or something, he had gotten booed by the largely, the conservative crowd. Not all of them, but some of them. And Charlie Kirk took him aside. He was like, hey, man, don't worry about that. You're just as much a part of this party as anyone else, and we got your back. Speaking about Turning Point USA. This is a gay black Republican.
And I know the guy you're talking about.
Yeah. Did you? And it's just like, this guy is like, say what you will, he's not a bad guy. You can disagree with him. He's a good man. He seems like a good person.
But I'm tired. I gotta say, bro, I'm tired of making excuses for the boomers, because there's no excuse. Like, this type of rhetoric bothers the shit out of me, because it's lazy. It is just lazy.
That's what it is.
And I'm tired that we're electing people on people's stupidity, naivete, or however you want to call it. I can't call them naive anymore, because they choose. They have so many options where to get their news from. They choose to get it from mainstream media and believe everything they're being told, because you can easily find 100 other sources that will speak about the same subject. So it's laziness, and I'm really, really tired of it. And one of the things I wanted to bring up today, we spoke about it yesterday when we did the mashup, where, Jason said it's time for us to record what people are saying on the left about did you see what happened to Rachel Gilmore?
I caught a little bit of it. Let us
I'll wait, because I have kind of a bunch of things that I want to cover, but it's no surprise that a lot of it is going to have to do with Charlie Kirk. That's all that's in the news right now. Yeah. I got a few other things that on any other day would have been a big deal, but today you're just like, move to the side.
It's weird too how everyone knew this was different. Like, because at the very beginning, at that point, there was this kind of stuff does happen once in a while. It's not like it's a huge story, but it does happen, like where a famous person will get killed at this kind of event. But something about this felt like almost generational, you know what I mean? Like a major turning point.
But it's the media that's doing it. The same media your parents and my mother's listening to are the ones making the big deal out of it. And you'll see what I mean today. They're the one that's really pushing.
But I think it should be a big deal.
But hold on. Yep. All I'm saying is that you look at what the right is doing, they're portraying him as a martyr. That's
Nope.
what mainstream media is doing on the right. On the left, the guy was still bleeding on the floor, and they're basically calling that the right is going to rise up, that they're going to do something, that they're already playing the victim as in, who cares who shot him? The right is going to rise. So this is what's the problem. This is the real problem that we have. This is the problem that people like your parents, my mother, needs to wake the fuck up and actually see, because I'm tired of seeing the rhetoric online and everywhere that I turn that guy was this. He deserved what he got because of hate speech. Yeah, no, fuck you. If you honestly believe that guy deserved what happened to him, you deserve to be brought back into the back of a shed and have the same thing happen to you, because there's something you're going to say that's going to hurt somebody's feelings out there. Like, we cannot start judging people on the way they make us feel as to, do they deserve to die or live? This is insane. Yet, this is where we're at. I don't remember ever seeing conservative people clap and be happy that somebody on the left, something happens to them. Yet every time something happens on the right, like remember last time Trump got shot, there was 2 attempts on his life during the time that he ran for president. And people were celebrating. People are like, again, can we not get a good shooter next time? Like, what the fuck's happening with those shooters? I have so many videos and I refuse to repost them. I was about to make a post about it today, and I just, you know what? I'm not going to post about this. I wrote a super long post about Charlie Kirk and the way I felt about him. And that's it. I'm going to drop it at that. But it's insane. When you look at what the left is doing right now, it's absolutely insane. And this is free speech. I don't have a problem with people being able to say this, but it shows how sick our population has become when they feel the need to say so. It's not because you can that you should. This is what we're seeing right now. There's a lot of people out there that are taking free speech. Not taking advantage, they're just utilizing free speech to be happy about his death. Yet they fail to realize that the reason he died is because he needs to be censored and people are tired of his speech. You don't think, like, I've put some thought into this, you don't think that it's a coincidence that he got shot in the throat? Where are your vocal cords? There was a video earlier that I watched, and the guy's saying, look at the symbolic behind that. Because again, Jeff was saying yesterday...
Do you think they're taking that kind of a shot? Like that accurate? For, like, that they can pick body parts?
At 400 yards, sure. Yeah, 400 yards, no wind. They didn't seem to have much wind when it happened yesterday. So would it surprise me that somebody can do it? No, that wouldn't surprise me. I could probably do that shot. I'm not the best marksman by any stretch of the imagination, but you give me my 308. Oh yeah, my 308 is very high, like is very high quality gun. I would probably make that shot. Not that I would want to, but I'm just saying I've had enough practice to put that shot in somebody. Although I don't believe that it's a 308. The hole wasn't big enough. Like, it would have probably cut the head off clean if it was a 308. But all to say that I don't like the rhetoric. I'm tired of people using that as an excuse to be lazy. Because you don't see me spout bullshit about people if I didn't do any research, if I don't know who really I'm talking about here. And the stuff that I keep on seeing today is just insane. I cannot believe that people are talking like that about a guy that they have no idea who he was, what he did. They, as you said, they saw a couple video on X and they're like, that's it. That's the type of guy we're talking about here. Yet, he seemed like a genuinely nice guy.
Genuinely decent person. And the problem that I have with that rhetoric of, you know, for where it's like, yeah, he should not have been killed, but he shouldn't say that. It's identical to
it's the consequences of hate speech. Like,
well, it's identical to, yeah, she shouldn't have been raped, but also she shouldn't have been wearing that. You know what I mean? Like,
good point.
And we all understand why that's a problem, right? It's the exact same thing. And even if we just zoom in there and take that point where they say, but they shouldn't have, or he shouldn't have been espousing hate speech. There's 2 issues with that. The first is, even if he was espousing hate speech, that's irrelevant. You cannot murder someone for quote unquote hate speech. I'm starting to have a real problem with the entire concept of hate speech, because it's clear that what they mean by that is any speech that goes against left-wing narratives. And that cannot be your definition of hate speech. But so that's one aspect. But the other is he isn't even speaking hate. If you actually listen to him, he's like one of the few guys who's going out of his way to not speak hate. Now, he doesn't agree with gay marriage, right? He's a Christian. That's not hate in and of itself. It would be hate to say, I think gay people don't deserve to live and they should be killed. That would be hate, sure. But that's not what he says. He just says he personally does not agree with gay marriage. That's his personal opinion. That's not hate, right? He's not shaming anyone else. And the example we gave with the black gay Republican at the beginning of the show shows he's not letting that personal opinion of him color his interactions with actual human beings. He's decent and respectful to gay people. So it's not hate for him to have a personal opinion about homosexuality, one that I don't personally share. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, as long as it's between two consenting adults. I just don't care what anyone else does. But for him, it's not hate speech for him to think that it's not okay. That's completely fine.
Because I agree with him. I do not think that gay people should be allowed to marry.
And that's fair
because,
too.
But marriage is a religious thing. It's something that you do in front of God. Now, does that mean they can't have a civil union? That I couldn't give two shits. But there's a difference between having a marriage and a union in front of the state. If you want to get, you want to be in a relationship with a man as a man, the fuck is I don't care. Do I think it's right? Do I think you're going to hell? Yeah. But is that going to stop me from having respect towards you? I'm a sinner, bro. There's a lot of things that God's going to look at me and say, you could have done a lot better, buddy. you fucked up a lot.
Oh, yeah,
so
it's gonna be a long day.
Who am I to tell people what they can and cannot do, as long as it doesn't impact me directly and my children, my family? Yes. I don't care. Even if I don't like it, who cares? I have friends that are gay. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
But do I think it's right? No. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to respect you. And this is what he appeared to me.
Yeah.
And this is a type of Christianity I want to see. I'm not okay with a lot of things, but does that mean I'm going to go out there and start attacking people? And no, not at all. I have way better things to do than that.
Right. What do they say? Hate the sin, love the sinner. Right. And look, let's be honest here. In many times in recent years, hate the sin, love the sinner has been more of a slogan, because I've seen many times when it has not been lived up to by Christians. But that doesn't mean that there aren't Christians who do live by that ideal, to hate the sin, love the sinner. And to me, that's what Charlie Kirk looks like he does, because he clearly, he believes gay marriage should not be a thing, and he thinks homosexuality is a sin. Again, I don't personally agree with that, but that's fine. That's my opinion. He has his opinion, but he does not treat people any poorly because of that. And that's why, in my opinion, this has nothing to do with hate. Hate would be if he actually treated gay people differently or badly. He does not. As like I said, that black gay Republican who came out with a very heartwarming story about how Charlie Kirk defended him and protected him from people who did have a problem with him in the conservative. Because of course there do exist on the right some people who actually do have an issue with gay marriage, or sorry, not even that, but like actually what you would call homophobic. But that does not mean that is a mainstream or widespread strain of thought.
But at the same time, people need to understand that the church is not a museum of saints, but a hospital for sinners.
Yeah, that's a good.
This is a thing. I'm not perfect. I try my best. I try. I'm consciously trying, but you know what? I fail all the time. Yeah. So let's dig into it. Although we were already digging into it.
Yeah, we've been digging.
Man, we've been digging. We've been digging. So here, I wanted to give a quick update because again, they haven't caught the guy yet. So they're looking. It seems like that's what they're telling us. They're looking for this dude. It's a person of interest.
That's got false. That's got like false flare. That's got crisis acts written all over it.
It's like, I love the low quality pixelated pictures. Like that's the best you could find.
Like
really,
you know what that looks like to me? That looks like if you went on Amazon and you looked up like mass shooter costume. You know what I mean? Like
it's the Halloween costume.
Yeah, straight out of the central casting for if you want a mass shooter to photograph to give to the media after a shooting. Like it's that. But let's say that is the shooter. There is some speculation that it's a trans person because of some shell casings that they found with, rhetoric that would suggest that it was a trans person who's attacking Charlie because of, perceived transphobia. But you know what? That actually brings up a really important point. All of us, I know everyone on the right already does this, but those of us on the left, in common sense, we really, really need to strongly and aggressively start pushing back on the words are violence concept. The idea that words are violence is absolute fucking nonsense. They are not violence. If you are such a child, so weak and dysfunctional that you can't exist in a world where there are going to be some hurtful or uncomfortable words, then go back to bed. We cannot continue to twist society in knots to accommodate the bottom quintile of society. The rest of us adults living in the real world understand you're going to hear hurty words. That's not violence, because there's a direct connection between that rhetoric and what happened yesterday. Because once it's understood that words are violence, then it becomes completely reasonable to attack words with violence. Because if you're told that those words that make you feel uncomfortable are actual violence, then why not use actual violence against the people spouting those
that's what you're seeing,
hurtful words? And that's what you're seeing right now. And this could be the 100%. Start of a long-term trend, because even if we stop this shit today, there's still probably a few million kids in that 15 to 25 or maybe 20 to 30 age group who are indoctrinated on those concepts, that words are violence. And they have internalized those, and they will have those in their bodies the rest of their life. And if some of them start to become mentally ill, you're going to see this. This could just be a regular thing where these, people who have been brainwashed by woke left brainworms and ideologies that are convincing us that words are violence when they are not. And we need to start saying, no, they are not. You don't need a safe space. I don't give a shit about your trigger warnings. Words are not violence. And if you cannot handle them, go back to bed, because the rest of the adults need to continue living our adult lives.
But like we were talking about yesterday, I'll show a post later on, and I'll show the comments, because there's a couple of posts within the comments that are worth exploring, because you are already seeing something developing, right? This is impacting the right and the left, and I don't like it. Like I called it when it happened yesterday. When I first saw the videos, I'd look at my wife. I'm like, this means something. There's something there's the potential. As we were talking about on the show yesterday, to me, the world right now, especially the West, is a powder keg. The powder is dry as shit. And there's a little asshole walking around with a lighter, and he's just like, his thumb is on it, and he's just, or the smoke is just smoking, and he's about like in the movies in the 90s.
Darts. Hey, Becky.
He's just about to throw it. But that's what I'm seeing, and something like that could be what lights the powder keg. And it's not a good thing. So let me just, I don't know if you guys saw that. So we saw the pictures. This is the costumed guy that they're looking for. I don't buy it for a fucking second. But here's the other thing I wanted to share. There is 100%, there are $100,000 reward for information leading to the identification and arrest of the individual responsible for the murder of Charlie Kirk. So that's interesting. I don't know what it means exactly, but I thought I would show it. Now, did you hear Trump's speech about this yesterday? What he said about this?
I heard of it. Like I heard some of the snippets. I didn't hear the actual speech. Do you have it?
It's a 4-minute video, but it's worth exploring, because there's some things in there I'm like, I don't like it.
Let's take a look.
Because the idea, just so you know, the idea is to, I gathered what Trump said, I gathered what Pierre Poliev said, I gathered what Mark Carney had to say about this. Then Andrew Scheer commented about something Rachel Gilmore. So Rachel Gilmore, I showed the post on yesterday's show. He reacted to that, and now the reaction of the people about the post that Andrew Scheer made about the Rachel Gilmore. It's insane. It's just that whole thing. It just shows how idiotic Canada's become. So before we play the video, actually, guys, if you are on X, you want to help us grow, make sure to like, make sure to comment, obviously, but restream this stream. But if you are on Instagram, same thing, like, comment. But the real conversation, as you're seeing here, happens on the YouTube channel at the Poli Orphans. So join us. Join the conversation on the Poli Orphans. Once you're there, like, comment, dislike. Even dislike is good too. Dislike, comment, but especially subscribe. And if you believe in independent media, the type of media that Rob and I are trying to create, the type of space that we're trying to create where people from two political views or any political views, as a matter of fact, can have a civil conversation, similar to what our main topic of the day, Charlie Kirk, was doing. He was creating civil discourse. This is exactly what we're trying to do here. So if you guys want to join us, we have a subscription model, $2.99 a month if you want to support on the YouTube channel. That being said, here is Trump's speech. I'm telling you right now, it's 4 minutes long, but man, I don't even know, no takes. It was a one-take video. It's not bad. But here is what Trump had to say about Charlie Kirk's assassination.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country.
So he's talking about the radical left. I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. He's talking about people that are going after police officers, ICE agents. We all know that it's the same people. Like, let's be real here. I'm not sure that was the proper way to address this. Because up to now, until he started talking about the radical left, he was just talking about Charlie, and he was giving his opinion on Charlie, and he probably has a better idea than me because he knew him personally, right? So it's hard to discredit what he was saying until there. I'm not a fan of the calling out the radical left.
I mean,
that part kind of bothers me.
Yeah, I just, even if he's not wrong per se, it's just, I don't think now's the time. He should, I think, adopt more of a unifying or healing tone or rhetoric. Just because he is the president, right? I think it's reasonable for rank and file conservative voices to not necessarily be all kumbaya and necessarily be unifying per se. I think it's reasonable to say, okay, but where this rhetoric is, or these actions are coming from, right? It's coming from certain rhetoric. But I think the president of the United States should try to adopt more of that unifying vibe. Now, that said, for Donald Trump, I feel like this is his unifying vibe. Like,
this is as good as it's going to get.
Yeah, this is as good as it's going to get.
Yeah.
The attack on my life
go ahead.
In Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others. Radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country.
That's another part I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah, not really. Yeah, just go back to that.
Monster who attacked him. The patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin.
It is Charlie Kirk. He seems to be like a decent man, but like he was not a Martin Luther King, like a big kumbaya. Like he wasn't a man of the people. He was definitely a right-wing activist, and that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with being a right-wing activist, but he was not universally loved by anyone.
He was not Gandhi. He was not Gandhi.
Yeah.
He was not Martin Luther King. He was not John F. Kennedy either. Like, as much as I really, really loved Charlie Kirk, there's steps to this game. But even if you told me that you shot MLK or you shot John F. Kennedy, it's still not an attack on the U.S. It's an attack on a singular person.
Yeah. Certainly.
Like, it's not the movement. They're not attacking the conservative movement. They're attacking one person that is highly representative of the conservative movement. Now, do you believe it in a conspiracy, or do you believe it's a lone gunman? Because that's where it comes from, right? If he, like I said yesterday, to me, Charlie Kirk is the perfect martyr. If you want to split the nation right down the middle and make sure that they go at war with each other, he is the perfect martyr, because he was not an extremist right, but the left does not like him. So everybody on the right, I have not seen one conservative on the right say that he deserved what happened to him. He's like the perfect person to put all the right together, to unify the right against the left. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that this is what's going to happen, but everybody on the right liked Charlie Kirk for what he did. A good amount of people on the left didn't mind him or didn't care or respected what he did, but there's a percentage of them that did not like him. Yes.
No.
So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of this, but I don't like this speech. I'm not a fan. It's not done yet. We'll finish it, but up to now, there's a few things like radical left. Do I agree? Yes, I 1,000,000,000% agree with what he's saying. Not sure I would be saying it right now. And attacking Charlie Kirk, I'm not sure it's attacking the U.S. Like, that's another part. I'm like, attacking Donald Trump, attacking the U.S.?
He would say so, but no, obviously not.
Yeah. You want to say something before I finish the video? There's like 30 seconds to go.
Assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory. May God watch over his family, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit silly trying to turn him into this like just universal martyr. He is a right-wing personality, and that's fine, right? There's nothing wrong with being a right-wing personality, but we also don't need to like blow smoke up everyone's ass here. It's Charlie Kirk. I don't know about I don't know if it was an attack on America. Now you could say, as Alberta Nan says, it's an attack on free speech. Yeah, I could
100%, 100,000,000%.
I could get on board with that. And I guess from there, you could maybe make an indirect, well, that made an attack on America because America's supposed to stand for free speech. But for sure, I can agree it was an attack on free speech. Clearly, I think that's the one thing that seems quite clear at this point.
1,000,000. No, I don't think anybody in their right mind can disagree that it was an attack on free speech. So if you consider free speech to be America, it was an attack on America. If you're gonna say that this was so, and technically it's the First Amendment, the most important amendment. So is it an attack on the U.S.? That way, I could be sold, right?
Yeah.
I could be sold on that part if you're telling me that Charlie Kirk was representing free speech, because he was, in my opinion, he was as good as a representative for free speach. So if shooting him, is it shooting America? Now, fuck, maybe it makes sense what he's saying. I don't know that Trump went that far in his head.
No, he did not. He didn't. No, he didn't. He did not fucking. He didn't even. It's not like he wrote that speech either. He's just reading whatever they put on.
Just the end. The end. Yeah. It was his because he was so obscure.
You can always tell the part that's his. Like, it's not even close. It's not
even close.
Yeah, not even close. Because you can always tell the lines that he added. Just take this quickly from Maggie. Says, hey, Rob, if you don't mind, what's the wings around your neck or tattoo mean? Are you military? I am military, well, ex-military, but no, they're I actually just got them the other day. They're the wings of
gay.
A phoenix.
They're gay.
Rising from the ashes, baby. But yeah, no, it's not a military question. But Max said, what's up to the Baldies? Hey, what's going on, sir? We'll take a couple comments.
Take some comments. I need to refresh my browser. I'll be right back.
Yep, go ahead. Logan White says they are abusing the Second Amendment to silence someone else's First Amendment is what I think he is implying. Yeah, I guess I see where you're going with that. Again, I don't think Donald Trump had that in mind, but yeah, I can see the dots that you're connecting there. LOL says, in Germany, 7 conservatives were killed just last week for the election. Yeah, and that's kind of crazy if you think about it. It hasn't really gotten much news over here. I don't know if it's gotten any traction over in Germany. They were all AFD, which is, of course, they'll call them anti-immigration party, but you could also call them immigration realist party, or a party for sensible immigration. But either way,
party.
Yeah, that is their signature issue is immigration. So that's pretty wild, right? 7 leaders of the anti-immigration party were all killed the week before the election. Like we said yesterday, I don't know, man. If it just feels like there's some, we use the term powder keg a lot, but that I don't know. It just feels like that. Maybe the fuse has been lit, and it's not going to all explode everywhere all at once. So you'll have a little one here and a little one there.
You know what's interesting about the German politicians is that I did some research on it, and you know what people were saying. The vast majority of comments that I was saying, it's just 7 people. There's hundreds of politicians. I'm like, yeah, but they're all for the same party.
Yeah,
assholes.
All the same party, and still hundreds, right? Like 200 to 300.
Coincidence.
Yeah, 200 to 300. If you have 7, that's still like, I don't know, 2 or 3% of all the politicians get murdered in the week before an election. That's pretty crazy.
I wanted to show you this as a joke because I was doing some research earlier, and this popped on my feed as I was researching, because the left is blaming Trump, right? They're literally, the reason Charlie Kirk was shot is because of Trump. This is the narrative that's coming out of the woke left right now. I'm like, wow, the mental gymnastic for you guys to be able to draw that conclusion. Hey, you know what? Next thing you know, it's Trump that shot him. They're going to start saying Trump was there. Trump was there. But I want to show this, because this to me represents extremely well what the woke left is thinking, and it's absolutely idiotic. So I have no clue who the guy is. It just popped on my feed. But basically the caption is, if anyone's to blame for the level of political violence we see in America today, it's this motherfucker. Speaking
I
about
mean,
Trump, and
how
look
do
at the
you,
video.
how
No,
do
no,
you,
no, listen to this. This is a serious post.
You know, in the old days, boom, firing squad. No, it's true. Boom, gone, bang,
Bing, bong. When we were strong,
saying
bing, and it goes quickly,
this?
right? It's
because he did this
it's called
is why Charlie
you're
Kirk does
dead.
that?
You know, in the old
Bro,
days,
come
boom,
on.
firing.
Bing,
Come on,
bum,
man.
ba-da-bum.
You gotta be, you gotta watch your back. You're reaching so far. So far, you're gonna pull your back out of alignment there, brother.
Well, what was funny is, again, often the comment is not the draw, is not the main attraction. The comments are,
it's the
right?
comment
The
section,
post
right?
itself, it's like, but then you start going, and the guys are just like, this is all the latest shooters. They're all trans,
all the
like the school
trans ones.
shooters.
Yeah.
And then they start showing all the politicians, like him. He did the same thing. There's a bunch of videos of him shooting guns on camera.
Okay.
You remember when him was talking against Trump? That's Tim Walz. So the video just goes on and on and on, like Pelosi saying it's time that we do something very aggressively. So we're like, guys, like, wake the fuck up. Trump did not pull the trigger. Like,
No.
can we just admit, like, the mental gymnastic to get to that conclusion
Well,
is
it's
it's
TBS,
more.
right?
I don't smoke enough. I don't smoke at all, but I would need some really high on mushrooms or ayahuasca. I don't think I could ever
Make
be
those
possible for me to draw that. No, never.
make
But
those connections.
I don't know if this is a good news or not, but I should have saved the video. But Ben Shapiro said that he will continue Charlie Kirk's mission to go on university
college
grounds.
campuses? Okay.
Does not have the same impact.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no,
Sorry,
he's
bruh.
not the same. But that's gonna. I mean, I'm sure he's gonna have pretty strong security. Those are gonna be
If
pretty.
if Charlie Kirk got shot, Ben Shapiro's getting bazookaed.
Oh yeah, because he's hated way worse. Yeah. He's
100%.
Should we take a few of these comments?
Oh, take a bunch, bro. Take a bunch.
All right. Maxkey says, good to see you guys. You both popped up on my YouTube page randomly 3 days ago. Yeah, welcome. Thanks for coming back. Appreciate it. I think we've seen you for a couple days now. So yeah, hopefully glad to see you sticking around. Because if you were watching yesterday's show, we didn't really take too many comments. But today you'll see how we normally work. We normally are pretty comment heavy. Logan White says Tommy Robinson spoke on Charlie's assassination. Yeah, it seems like it's really penetrated into sort of the mainstream, right? This like I was saying to Nico earlier, like I'm talking to like people that I know are not political whatsoever. I'm like, oh, did you hear about Charlie Kirk? And I'm like, I didn't even know you knew. And they probably didn't know who Charlie Kirk was until yesterday. But it's a major news story, and it's really penetrating. And it's good that Tommy Robinson is speaking on it, because I think a lot of these fights are all connected. It feels like
he went to fucking prison for calling out facts.
Yeah,
Tommy Robinson.
Yeah. Yep.
So
free speech.
I wouldn't be surprised that he get knives, like that. He would have gotten knifed, or that he would have got shot. Like he's the type of political figure that is.
If anyone
not
cares
as
about free speech, it's going to be Tommy Robinson.
And the thing is, if you look at what Charlie Kirk meant to the U.S., not the world, because worldwide, Charlie Kirk was way more known, because there's Turning Point America in every country almost. You know that, right? I know some of the guys that are part of Turning Point America. I've had them on my podcast before, and you can literally start a chapter in your country, call yourself Turning Point, let's say Turning Point Canada, and if it picks up steam, they'll pick you up.
Yeah.
So that is what Charlie Kirk wanted to do. So he has a worldwide effect. Like that was his arena, was the world. Yes. Tommy Robinson is more UK, and guys like you and I know him because we follow international politics. But to England, Charlie Kirk, like Tommy Robinson is to England what Charlie Kirk was to the US, right? He is that polarizing figure that everyone has a fucking opinion on. Everyone knows who that guy is, and you either really like him or you don't. Now,
and a lot of the same arguments against Tommy Robinson are used against Charlie Kirk, right? Because I've heard the same thing. Oh, he's a racist. He's xenophobic. But I've never heard him say anything. You know what I mean? Like, this is what the left does. the media and the official information or news sources will say things like, oh, this person's a racist, this person's transphobic. They don't really provide any facts or proof, and everyone just accepts it. And then they go and tell their friends, oh, don't listen to him or don't watch him. He's racist. He's homophobic. He's a bigot. But of course, it's not actually true. And we shouldn't be misusing those words, because obviously there actually are people who genuinely have hate. There are actual racists out there. There are actual, homophobes. There are actual people who hate people that are not just like them. And we need to be able to identify them. And we can't. If you're going to call everyone that you don't agree with, who has a different opinion of yours, if you're going to call them all fascists, Nazis, and transphobes, and bigots, and full of hate, it doesn't mean anything anymore. Alberta independence is returned by Canada. Yes, I do believe there is.
There is one. To which extent is it popular? That I don't know. But there's definitely one, because I had looked into it before.
I'd be curious to see how it's going to start it's like, this is going to turbocharge the recruitment of turning points all over the world. I would predict. I bet you there's a lot, because there's probably a lot of like young men and women who are conservative in thought, but they're in maybe 20 years old, 19 years old. They're in university, they're in academia, they're surrounded by woke scolds and people who you can't disagree with them, and they've been cowed into silence. But I think this is going to, there are some people who are just cowards and they will continue to stay silent. But I think this will galvanize a lot of people who haven't spoken up yet.
But it's interesting. Keep that thought, because I found a poll earlier that I wanted to talk about, and I think it's the perfect time to bring it up. I found this earlier. It's from the National Post, and they report that 1 out of 5 Canadian under the age of 25 believes terrorism can be justified. Very, very,
really?
Yeah. So this is the part right here. So the poll conducted by Léger for Association for Canadian Studies revealed that ideology held by 1 in 5 Canadians under the age of 25, they likely believe that the architects of terrorist attacks are themselves victims, and as such, they may conclude that the ends justify the means in pursuing the objective. However, they choose to interpret it. So basically, one, as per a Léger poll, which is a very known place in Canada, especially in Quebec, I thought I was showing the article, but here's the article from the National Post. But all to say that 1 out of 5 Canadian under the age of 25 believes that terrorist groups are victim, and they understand why the end justify the means.
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah, but when I saw that, though, it kind of explained to me that you look at the woke left. I would be very curious to see the age of those people online that are posting saying that what Charlie Kirk got, he deserved, because it might literally be those under 25, because a lot of the videos that I've seen that I will not reshare are very young, as in early, like late teens, early 20s, saying that he deserves it. So they're probably talking, the reason I was talking about this poll is that they're probably talking about the same age group, right? Yeah. The same age group that's posting that Charlie Kirk deserved what he got are probably the exact same people that are saying, I think that the ends will justify the means.
Oh, absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. And of course, that only goes one way, though. For example, like when they say terrorism, what they really mean, for the most part, they're thinking of Palestinians, right? That's why. So when they're in their minds, whatever violence Palestinian, because they had to adopt that position in order to continue to be the good guys in their minds, right? Because that's the whole thing about liberals, is they're convinced they're the good guys. And so when October 7th happened, well, they're like, okay, well, we support Palestine, but now Palestinians have gone and committed a huge, massive terrorist attack and murdered 1,000 citizens. So something has to change. Either I have to stop supporting the Palestinians, or I have to change I have to change what the Palestinians did in my mind so that they can still be the good guys. So now we say, now it's not really terrorism, or if it is terrorism, it's okay, it's justified because of how Israel treats them. And it just shows you that kind of twisted logic that is really, I think, part of the moral rot that has set into the left. And you know, I know that one of the big things I used to hear all the time from the right in a critique of the left, and I definitely agree with it more now than I did then, is just the criticism of relativism, right? You've heard the term moral relativism, how that was so terrible. And it wasn't that I disagreed with that argument. I didn't see why it was important. Now I do. Now I see it. But that's what we get when we sort of worship at the cult of relativism. Is that's a worldview that affects every position that you take. And so once you get into a relativistic mindset, you can make everything relative. So yeah, nothing's concrete. You can't even say something like murder is bad anymore. That's not concrete, because in some cases it's good. And it's good if it's the good guys doing it. How do we know that they're the good guys? Because they're the guys that agree with our political narratives, right? So that's the sort of circular immoral logic that has unfortunately sort of infected the left. But in that sort of example, you can see a lot of the things that the left is doing now and why they're doing it. You can see, even though it's twisted and grotesque, you can at least understand their perverse logic.
As Sylvie's saying, it takes 1,000 people to make a poll legit to produce. I take them with a grain of salt. You always have to take them with a grain of salt. Always have to take them with a grain of salt. And in this case, it was 1,627 people. So it's not that many people. But the point I'm bringing it up is not because I 100% agree with this, that it is 1 out of 5 Canadians, or 1 out of 5 Canadians under the age of 25. But what I'm saying is it correlates very well with what I'm seeing online. The type of hate messages that are emerging all over the place. They're all young. They're all in their late teens, early 20s, talking about Charlie Kirk like he deserved it because they did not agree with his speech. Somebody deserves to be assassinated because they didn't like what he said. This, to me, ties up directly with terrorism. If you can condone terrorist act to say, oh, those people were victims, you can easily jump the gate and say the shooter was a victim. The reason he shot Charlie Kirk is because he hurt his feelings. So it was just a victim fighting a bully. Hey, fuck off. Like, seriously. But I just found the poll's timing to be very interesting because I was not looking for this. It was in the news on National Post, and I'm like, oh shit, that kind of ties up very well with what we're going to speak about. But for now, let's see what our politicians had to say about it, because I really want to talk about Rachel Gilmore, because I brought it up yesterday. Jason brought it up too, and I knew there would be some backlash because what she said was just wrong. Just completely wrong. But here are Pierre Poliev, what he had to say about Charlie Kirk. I'm actually very surprised. I'm very surprised that he actually had the balls to talk about that.
Who, Poliev?
Of all things, yes, of all things, he talked about that.
Yeah.
Not a couple hours after it happened. So his focus group had already agreed to this shit, right? This was already ran. This was a hot topic. Obviously, the only thing that was trending yesterday in both Canada and the US and most of the world was Charlie Kirk dying. So here is Pierre Poliev and what he had to say about Charlie Kirk.
Before I begin, please allow me to offer my condolences to the family and loved ones of Charlie Kirk, the 31-year-old father of 2 who was mercilessly assassinated yesterday at a university campus for having expressed contrary views. Universities are supposed to be places of debate where differing opinions can be offered and exchanged in peace and security. We must all unite, regardless of our political views, around a simple principle. Political violence is never acceptable. Every person should be free to express their opinion without fear of violence.
That was probably one of the best take of Pierre Poliev in ever. I actually agreed. It's very strange for me to say this, but I actually agreed with what he said, how he said it, and the timing. For once, he actually put his big boy pants on and he actually spoke about something that was relevant without waiting 2 weeks to make sure that everybody was happy about the way that he would approach the subject. He actually talked about it. I like what he said, and I agree with his message. I could say Nico approves this message at the end of the video, which is very strange for me to say about Pierre Poliev.
I mean, he hit all the right notes. He said all the right things. And he actually seemed like he had the right, like he actually seemed like he believed it. Which
it sounded genuine to me too. Yeah, surprisingly, again, very surprised by this.
Unusual for him. What did Carney say?
He didn't say shit. He wrote it. So here is Mark Carney said, "I am appalled by the murder of Charlie Kirk. There is no justifications for political violence, and every act of it threatens democracy. My thought and prayers are with his family, friends, and loved ones." Pierre Poliev, this is one of the things that people were talking about a lot. And if you see the comments, they're just ripping into him because they're like, "What? You waited 7 hours for you to say something about his death?"
Yeah,
like at least Pierre Poliev was within an hour or two of Charlie Kirk being shot. It's like at night, you're like, "Oh shit, maybe I should say something about that." And obviously, it wasn't him. Obviously, that was a focus group, like it was his team that wrote this. But if you're gonna say this, you might as well not say anything, because he had nothing to win by putting that post out, and he wouldn't have lost anything by not saying anything.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously pretty. It took way too long, and it's pretty weak. Some weak sauce there for sure.
Might as well not say anything. Yeah, you're not convincing me that you cared. If you're trying to get my vote,
he clearly doesn't care. And I wouldn't even expect like liberal politicians to like fall all over themselves to make an announcement. But like within a reasonable time, I think Gavin Newsom released a somewhat genuine sounding tweet within an hour or two, which to me is clearly reasonable. I thought that was decent on his part. Whether it's actually genuine, I don't know. But it doesn't really matter what the politician actually thinks. That's the thing with politicians, is they are leaders, right? The country in a healthy functioning society looks to their leaders for leadership. And we often take signals just by the words that they say. That's why it's important to say those things, right? It's not like, it doesn't really matter if they actually believe them. It's you're saying the right thing just because it's the right thing, because that the society that you govern or lead is going to take their signals from you. At least that's how it's supposed to work in a healthy society.
Agreed, brother. I completely agree. But at the same time, it makes me laugh because there was no reason for him to even talk about it. If you're gonna write that type of crap, you're just gonna be hated on, and that's what people did. Every comment is ripping into him. So, at the end of the day, man, you might as well, if that's what you got, just shut the fuck up. Don't post it. And nobody on your side is going to be mad at you. And nobody that's going to be pissed at you would vote for you either way. So it's one of those subjects. Just fucking drop it if you're going to post that weak sauce on the internet.
Should we take a couple comments?
Go for it, man. Oh, yeah, because I have a bunch of stuff about this, so, yeah.
Yeah, Sylvie says, I don't like Gilmore and don't agree with her post. At the same time, the backlash she received, I guess we're gonna get that here in a few minutes.
Yeah,
everything that they didn't like about her post, the world has missed. Yeah, I mean, it's just, honestly, social media is just a trash heap. I use it, obviously. It's one of those things like you kind of have to, certainly in what we do. And I'm not trying to moralize. I'm also as addicted to it as everyone else. We all are as a society. But that doesn't prevent me from recognizing that it's just a garbage dump. It would be better if it had never come, if it wasn't here at all. I personally think, but it is here, so we'll use it. And there are some value to it, but it certainly spreads toxicity. And I don't think there's any putting that genie back in the bottle. You can't just say no more social media. But
it has nothing to do. It's not the social media. It's like money. To me, social media is very much like money. It enables behaviors.
Yes.
Those behaviors are already there.
Oh, yeah.
It's just when you're rich, when you have fuck you money, you really show the type of person that you are. Because if you now you have the money to be extremely selfish or be extremely giving, be extremely twisted or be extremely good. The money's there. It's no longer a choice. Like, it's not, you're not in a situation where all you can do is your day to day and you don't have the options to give as much as you do or be as crazy as you want because you don't have the means. So to me, social media is the same. It enables behaviors, but it doesn't create the behavior. It enables.
Well, no. Well, yeah, I know what you're saying. I think there's something, though, about this kind of communication with someone you can't see that does alter behaviors. No, not everyone would be nearly as rude and obnoxious if we were all face to face having these conversations.
Yeah, my backhand would be strong.
Oh yeah. Wise guy says, I'm sorry to say, but before the shooting, I'd heard of Kirk, but never listened to him. Has taken over the news and forgive me, but more important stuff's going on. Who was he to Canadians? I knew who he was, and I mostly what I would see him as the odd clip that would come across on social media, right? I think he was a fairly bog standard, in my opinion. I'd always thought he was a fairly bog standard conservative activist. I don't really know, I know that I lumped him in with the Ben Shapiro's and Ben Shapiro and what's his name, Charlie Kirk, of course, and I don't know,
Candace Owens.
Candace Owens, yeah, exactly. I don't really know how far right each one is. I don't know the exact positions. Certainly, I never thought that. I didn't think he was an American hero or anything. I just thought he was an activist and a pretty decent media personality. My esteem of him has gone up since he's been shot, just because I've seen a lot of clips of him being a decent guy that I hadn't seen before. But I didn't really think negative about him. He was just kind of a guy that's out there. I didn't.
But it wasn't. The thing is that the reason you didn't know about him, he wasn't you're not his target audience. I knew about him because I knew people in his organization. I've been trying to help the young conservatives throughout my content, especially in the US, to just get informed, be ready to vote with your values and understand what your values are. Because I'm a men's rights activist at the end of the day. That's a conservative value. It is not a liberal value. So I've known of him because he used to prone masculinity a lot. He used to speak about the role of fathers in the family and how important they were to the family. I was just watching a video about him this morning speaking about that. But it's not over the top. The thing is again, it's not for you. You were never his target audience. But I can tell you, man, the 18 to 25, the 16 to 25 Americans that are university or going to university all knew who that guy was. And those are the people that are hurting right now, because he was a voice. He was the first guy to really have the balls to show up on campuses that were extremely woke. Like, campuses all across North America are extremely, extremely woke. He walked into a war zone every single time, and he took questions from people. There's videos out there of him just getting insulted, and he stays there and he stays polite with people. Like, it was pretty amazing. The calm that he was able to keep under pressure, under fire, was very impressive. I don't have that passion. I don't have that patience. I don't have that. He was way better than I can ever become. He was just the first to do it, and he had a major impact on the youth in the US. He literally showed young Americans that it was okay to be conservatives. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the reasons why 18 to 24 right now, if you're looking at the 18 to 25 in Canada, they're the most conservative generation in generations. Like, that 18 to 25 group is extremely conservative in Canada, and the US is the same thing. And it is because of guys like Charlie Kirk. He opened that conversation. He educated those people, and he told them it is okay to be a conservative. There's no problem with you being a conservative. You can still be a conservative and be an okay person. So yeah.
And I don't know, I agree with what you just said. I also feel like some of what, and I think, as Pam says, she also says, it seems to be a bit over the top. And also, I think that there's some generational things going on, because it is mostly for the young people. But I also think it's also bigger than Charlie Kirk himself. I think it just happened to be at the right moment in the zeitgeist, wherever we are right now. It just seems like it was ripe for just this sort of, we use the term powder keg a lot. It seems like, the situation is right for some event like this to spark some large awakening among people on the right.
It's what he represents. He was the definition in the US when it comes to campuses. He was really the voice of free speech. He really tried. That's all he was trying to prone is we should have this conversation. Like the spirit of this show comes from his spirit of what he did on campuses. It's the same thing. What you and I are trying to do is recreate a bit what he did on campuses and challenge people and be able to have that civil conversation between people that don't have the same political views. That it's okay for us to open that conversation, do it politely, and try to find where we fit together, where we agree, and where we don't. Let's try to find a way to live together, although we don't agree on 20% of things, but probably agree on about 80%. Yeah. So he's a very good representation of what free speech is all about in the US. He's not free speech, but he is a good representation of what's the power of free speech in the US was a guy like Charlie Kirk. That's why it's blowing up all over the place. Plus, Turning Point is all over the place. Like Turning Point is in a lot of countries. So he was really world known, and he was a Christian on top of that. There's a lot of fucking Christians in the US. So,
yeah, for sure there is. Hold on, there was a comment here they wanted to take. Yeah, I mean, as Alberta says, he represented and promoted conversation of opposing views, free speech, and values. Yeah, I mean. What was the guy's name last night? Was it Donald, the guy we had on the show? Best. Yeah, and he had said, his whole thing was, let's talk about it, right? Let's have a conversation. That's kind of what he stood for. That's the way he did things. So again,
it was Daniel. Yeah. What he was saying was actually Charlie Kirk's words, because I saw them repeated time and time again today on my phone, on my reel, not on my reel, but on my storyline on Instagram. That was his words.
Yeah.
So he was a smart guy, man. Like in some places in Texas, like we spent a lot of time in Texas and we drove around. And one day we're just driving, hauling the trailer. I always listen to local radio stations. Mm-hmm. I'm like, motherfucker, I know that guy's voice. I'm like, fuck, that's Charlie Kirk. I was right in the area where he lived, where he was broadcasted his show, because he was on FM radio every day. He had his show.
Oh, really?
Exactly what you saw there. He talked about it on his show. Yeah. The guy was, he did a lot of fucking content. God damn. He was all over the place, man. Damn.
Really? Wow. Yeah, I know. I mean, he was just kind of ubiquitous on the right. I never watched his shows directly, but you'd see it. He would come across my feed a lot. 50 Jane says, I've been watching for years, enjoying his videos. He seems to just speak common sense to me. The news is shocking, very upset. Yeah, he certainly was not spewing hate or spouting hate. That's a crazy assertion, and that should be pushed back on pretty aggressively.
Yeah, I was shocked yesterday. I was shocked, and it really hurt me when I heard that story yesterday. Like just this morning, I won't lie, I was crying. I wrote like a long post where I sat down and just, what does that guy represent to me? And it kind of hurt me because I'm looking at my wife breastfeeding my son, and I'm like, he has 2 of those at home now that we'll never know. Charlie Kirk has helped millions of young individuals, but his kids will never see. He will never be able to do for his kids what he did for millions of young minds out there. This is what broke my heart. And yes, people don't know this, but his kids were always there. There's videos of him on Fox, and the video stops, and all you see is the little girl. She runs, and you know when you see a father pick up his daughter, it's like nothing else matters. He's picking up. She's like 3 years old, just like that.
That's great. That's
and he just picks her up, and he's just like, he's just fucking around. He does not care that there's a million cameras there. He does not give a fuck. He's like, I'm with my daughter right now. The rest doesn't matter. He just looked like a good dude. That's what hurt me the most. He was a father, a husband, and he was a Christian. He just seemed like a good dude.
Yeah, as Logan said, when I saw the video of his daughter running up to him in a news outlet studio, it broke me. Yeah,
that's the one I'm talking about. They went viral today. That's the exact one I'm talking about.
Well, so it's funny because I feel like the left's lies are really kind of being thrown in the face, because they've been getting away with saying this shit about Charlie Kirk because it's just kind of, the world he was in, right? You expect it smeared by the other side. But now that he died, people are coming back like, no, okay, this is all bullshit. So now at least my feed is filled with clips of him just being a decent guy, and people are starting to get fired. You're hearing a lot of news reports.
I got a story about that. I got a story about a Canadian.
One of the reporters. Do you remember you got okay.
I got something in Canada.
Okay.
She got in trouble for what she did. Here's the video since we're talking about it. Here's the video I'm talking about of his daughter. It's like he's just, is that not the best? And I reposted on my stories. If you guys follow me on Instagram, go on my stories. I reposted a video of him being, he was doing a Turning Point America on a campus somewhere. This black woman shows up, early 20s with her baby strapped to her chest. And even before she starts talking, she's like, he just looks at her. He's like, oh, what a beautiful baby you have there. That is such a godsend. Yeah. And he's just like, he's going to make me cry, but he's so passionate about the kids. Like he's looking at that. The girl's talking and he's like, oh, she's so precious. You're so like, he just seemed like a father. And this was just genuine. He's like,
yeah, well, yeah, it's not like it's not like they're doing it for the camera, because the 2-year-old wouldn't do that if he wasn't like that with her off camera too. Right.
No. That gets me every time. Just good fathers, good mothers will get me every single fucking time.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to, because here's a video I found. I got no idea who this guy is. No freaking idea, but he represents the woke left extremely well in both Canada and the US when it comes to Charlie Kirk, but especially in regards to Rachel Gilmore. So listen to this. And again, if you guys can tell me who that guy is, I would love to go comment on his stuff and try to get him on the show to try to figure out what the hell is he saying. But listen to this.
So we have a huge problem in Canada. A very big problem. Journalist Rachel Gilmore put out a tweet expressing her concerns about the reverberation of right-wing violence in response to this incident that happened down in Utah with Charlie Kirk. And elected Conservative MP Andrew Scheer decided to reply to that tweet. And now Rachel Gilmore is the first result that comes up on the website charliesmurderers.com. An elected Conservative MP just put a target on a Canadian journalist's back. She's already receiving tons of death threats. This is scary shit.
So basically this guy is blaming Andrew Scheer for resharing Rachel Gilmore's post, painting a target on her back when she has way more followers than Andrew Scheer. Like, who the fuck is Andrew Scheer? Rachel Gilmore posted a post, he reposted it. Somehow he's responsible for her being attacked. And you know what's interesting? She has now locked her account on X. It is no longer available. You can no longer go to her feed. She went private this morning or yesterday because she got so much hate for the same post I shared yesterday. And here is the post in question. So basically,
did he put an like? Hold on, I'm trying to. So he reposted. Did he put an actual target?
I'll show it to I'll show it to you. So this is the post. I shared this post on the show yesterday. Terrified to think how far-right fans of Kirk are aching for more violence could very well turn this into an even more radicalized moment. Will they now believe their fears have been proving right and feel that they have a right to retaliate regardless of who actually was behind the initial
that's
shooting?
Garbage post.
But I follow this girl just to know how idiotic. She's a good representation of the woke left. Okay. So that's her post. Nobody made her write that, except the people, obviously, from mainstream media that pay her salary. But this is what Andrew Scheer said. Imagine how twisted she has to be that this is her first thought after a man was shot in the neck for expressing his views. So much hate in her.
Oh,
That's the post the guy on
I don't really have an issue with that.
oh man, what if I saw that post yesterday and I took the time to actually respond to her? It would have been 10 times worse than what Andrew Scheer said.
I think it is pretty twisted that like first of all, aching for violence. I don't think the right. Well, I mean, the far, but like first of all, she's just far right fans of Kirk, as if it's only far right fans. Like there's plenty of reasonable, conservative, moderate people on the right who are fans of Kirk, and a lot more now. So that's just a ridiculous framing. Anyway, she's begging the question. She's making it about violence when it never was in the first place. Like she's the one who she's the one who put a violent label on them and then say, look at these violent people. They're just going to go be violent again, aren't they? But that's completely uncalled for. That's completely inappropriate. And it's completely appropriate to call her out because she was being hateful here. She was the problem. He just called her out. Like, I can't believe she said this. Is Andrew Scheer trying to get me killed? He's just repeating your own words and saying you're an idiot for
that
it.
is on that's on Blue, like Blue Sky, the application. Because again, she barred herself from if you go Rachel Gilmore, see, she doesn't even show up anymore. Oh Jesus, there you go. There she is, because I follow her, right? So it's in my history.
Yeah.
But she closed down her X account, as in she made it. Her Instagram is still there, but she did not post that on her Instagram. Like she keeps those posts for X. But all to say that I don't condone what people are doing to her death threat. I don't condone that.
No, of course not.
But she brought it on herself, because I get this shit all the time. I get the left attack me and call me names. I've had so many death threats. I think it's funny because those motherfuckers couldn't do shit in real life. But don't tell me that me resharing your post is painting a target on your back. You painted a target on your own back, you dumb idiot. Like, that's on you. That's on you. I didn't make you write. I didn't write that post and post it for you. You wrote it. I called you out on it. Plain and simple. Live with the consequences of your actions.
Yeah, Andrew Scheer didn't do anything wrong there. He just, like, if you're going to make a post, then a public post on social media, you are you are allowing, you're making yourself open for criticism, right? And if you think you aren't, then you don't make posts. Like, just don't be on social media, because that's the point of it. Someone makes a post, someone else criticizes it, and Andrew Scheer's criticism was well within the reasonable bounds of criticism. If he said something like, Look at this deranged bitch. Go get her, boys, or someone needs to take care of this bitch or something. Yeah, of course, that would be outside the bounds. You know, we don't need to pretend like we're all idiots. We all understand what's a reasonable criticism and what would be incitement to violence. He didn't. What he said was well within the bounds of reasonable criticism. It is unfortunate. There are going to be psychopaths or like morons on the internet who will then go after Rachel Gilmore, but that's not Andrew Scheer's fault, right? That's just the cost of doing business on the internet. Like all Scheer did was repeat her own words. If she felt that those words were problematic, she probably shouldn't have said them in the first place.
But if you follow this girl, this is why I would have loved for her account to still be open, because I would have showed you the type of post that she gives, that she posts all the time. And she's a very hateful person in her post, like extremely. She will rip into guys like Andrew Scheer, Poliev, 10 times worse than what he said. Yet if we say something about her, she plays the victim and she's just like, oh no.
But I think that's her stick. That's her.
That was her perfect. That was her perfect moment to shut the fuck up and not address it. But you know what happened? She's a content creator. She knew that Charlie Kirk was trending all over the place, so she had to provide her opinion to get as much reach as possible because it was trending, and it backfired. Oh yeah.
Well, and I think she said shit like that in the hopes that someone will retweet her and say something so that she can then say he's trying to get me killed. Like, I think that's entirely her plan. I think that's
possible.
Yeah, I think that's the way she creates content. She says things to that she knows is going to get a certain type of reaction, and then she's going to retweet that reaction and claim the victim.
So Sylvie's saying he's still an MP, hence his influence on
Yeah, but
reactions.
the
He
only
has
thing he's
hold on. But he has way more. She has a way bigger audience than her. Then he has a smaller audience than her, and she's supposedly a journalist. So if you're gonna put yourself out there, expect people to retweet and disagree with you. There's nothing wrong about what he said, even as an MP. There's
No,
nothing
not at all. I
wrong
expect him
at all.
I expect MPs to conduct themselves in a professional way, but he did there. Like otherwise, what he's saying that MPs can't talk at all because someone out there might. There are deranged lunatics out there. You can't not say reasonable things because some idiot might take your reasonable words and then do something unreasonable with them. That's just not how the world works.
Because if it would have been me as an MP, I would have simply said, this is what's wrong with journalism. A man died today, and already we're painting the opposite of your opinion as the bad people. This is divisive. I could have ripped into her even as an MP way more than he did, and it would have still been okay because she is a journalist. That's how she calls herself. So don't tell me that media doesn't have a role to play in this. We heavily talked about that yesterday during the mashup that we had, and they have a massive role to play in the way people are indoctrinated. In the same way you were talking about your parents and my mother earlier, it's the same thing. That is media that brainwashes people, and people keep on believing it. Yep. There's responsibility on both sides because media can do whatever they want. I'm still never going to believe them, but does she deserve the backlash? Yes. 100,000 million% she deserves the backlash. Does that mean people should be threatening her? No. There's no reason for people to get violent with her. But to tell me that post is wrong? Hell no. She deserved that post 1,000,000 times for posting that response. Sorry.
There's nothing wrong with Shear's post. If people then made comments after that towards her that were wrong, then I'd be the first to criticize those individual posts. Of course, no one should be making death threats to anyone. But you can't say if someone takes a reasonable post and goes somewhere unreasonable with it, it's not the fault of the person who made the reasonable post. It's the fault of the person who took it to an unreasonable place.
But let's see. This story is very interesting to me because I heard about the CBS reporter or host or personality that got fired for what he said about Charlie Kirk just after the assassination. But here is the perfect example this is from Canada, which is why I'm sharing it, because this is irony if you ask me. But this is one of those, a lot of videos out there of people making fun of Charlie Kirk for dying. So this was a government worker. That woman used to work for the government. After this, she no longer works for the government. But here is what she had to say about Charlie Kirk yesterday.
Charlie Kirk got shot and he's dead. Finally, somebody with a gun, which is almost everybody in the fucking States, grew a pair and fucking went and shot somebody on the right side. Thank you. Can we keep this up, please?
Yeah.
So that was the video. That woman was identified. And her old employer, she was a legal aid she worked for Legal Aid BC, and she was fired for the video that she released. This is
where does she work? Oh, she worked for legal. Oh, she was in Canadian. She works in the government.
She's a Canadian that worked for the BC government. Shit. She posted this shit. People identified her. They reported her to her employer, and the government said, boop, bye-bye.
Yeah,
you are gone.
There's a lot of people who haven't realized that you can't, like, this shift has occurred, and more people are on the side that doesn't put up with this shit anymore. And a lot of these, loony lefties, they don't realize that the culture has shifted on them, and they're out there making these videos because they never had accountability before. Yep. People on the right have known for years that they probably can't speak a lot of their positions in public because the left has been culturally dominant, and now it's coming and hitting on the left. I bet she's shocked. Why would I get fired for this? It's only spewing hate against the right. That's acceptable because it has been up until very, very recently.
And here's what it says. We are aware of a recently circulated online video featuring a former employee. The video contains statements and views that are deeply offensive and do not align with the core values, principles, or missions of our organization. You know what? I can't work in my field anymore because of the type of content that I post. The day that I started opening my mouth on social media, I know that it was a matter of time before I couldn't work. I don't want to say I got lucky, but I refused the vaccine. So guess what? It kind of took care of itself. But I can tell you my old employer saw what I was doing, because I've been talking like this when I was still working for a massive corporation.
Yeah.
I knew they didn't like it. I just didn't give a fuck. At that point, like, you can all suck on my dick. But I knew the consequences of my actions. I knew that if I started, and I never said anything remotely as ridiculous as she just said. But you're absolutely right. I got banned. I lost my career over there. Whoop, whoop. But I got banned off Facebook, and I have a massive audience there. And I can't get it back. They completely refuse for giving it back. And yet what I posted was about COVID. It was 100% accurate. It got proven to be right, and they canceled me for it. But this has never happened to the left. It is just the right that's been canceled, left, right, and center, that's been censored on social media. I was censored for a year. I couldn't do live on Instagram because of a communist post that I made. One post got me blocked for a year of not being able to do lives. Yet I see posts like this on, it was literally, it was a meme. So it was a communist. It was a comparison. Communist is just like this. And you saw a guy with a massive fork trying to zap himself in a power outlet. And that was reported as self-harm. So they banned me for a year. So, but yet people can go in. I see those videos on TikTok all the time. Yet, if I say that immigration is too high on TikTok, my video gets banned. If I say retarded on TikTok, my live stream gets shut down and my account gets banned. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous, but they're gonna learn, because this is not going away, right? I believe in free speech 100,000 million%. You're allowed to say whatever the fuck you want. That doesn't mean that there's not going to be consequences, as in this. If I saw that from one of my employees, you're not working for me anymore, bitch. Ain't happening. I cannot. I don't care who you're talking about like this. I don't care that they're leftist or rightist. I don't agree with that. You cannot start celebrating people getting assassinated. You can't. You just cannot.
No. Well, I mean, it's completely reasonable to not want anyone working for you who would celebrate murder, for sure.
What? You're so racist.
There's a guy.
Somehow that's racist.
Yeah, they'll jump through the hoops there.
MSNBC reporter.
Yeah, wise guys to
fired.
He was the guy who, I think, when it first came out, and he was like, it might have been that was so stupid what he said.
Somebody from the right.
No, he said it might have been a supporter who was firing guns off in celebration.
Oh, poo poo!
Like, as if
that's him.
Yosemite Sam is out there, like, oh, geez, shooting guns in the air. Like, come on, man. I saw
that video. I did not realize that this was the guy. Hold on. I think
I'm pretty sure he got fired. That's the guy that got fired.
Fox News is talking about it here. So hold on.
All right.
Christina Coleman is back live with that. Christina.
That's right, Tracy. We're hearing that this political contributor, Matthew Dode, got fired. And unfortunately, some on the left in the media, they've made some controversial comments following Charlie Kirk's political assassination. Take a listen.
After one of the Doge employees was allegedly attacked in Washington, D.C., that's what Donald Trump used as justification to send in federal troops into Washington, D.C. to get things under control. You can imagine the administration using this as a justification for something.
We don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about this. But following up on what was just said, he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech.
But he hasn't been. He's been unified.
Yeah, so that comment got him in some...
unify. That's crazy, man.
No, but how ridiculous that somebody would think that in a liberal campus, People are just walking around with their loaded guns and like,
Yeehaw! what a ridiculous thing to say. But yeah, it's pretty. Again, I bet you he was surprised to get fired for that too. The left is just not used to this sort of being held accountable for their own words. It's you know, they're like, whoa, no, this isn't as fun. This isn't as much fun on the other side. This is a lot more fun when you're the one doing the canceling. Cancel culture is much more fun on the side doing the canceling.
Yep. This is I don't know if you caught that earlier, but I wanted to show it. This is the website that was mentioned in that video earlier. That there's a website called it is charliesmurderers.com, and they're just posting people that are talking against Charlie Kirk or that are maybe might be the killer, but she's the first one. Rachel Gilmore is the first one, and her post is right there. So yeah.
Is that are you on there right now? Is that still up?
Yeah, that's the website. Yeah. charliesmurderers.com. Yeah. And it's literally, it's her post, and you can scroll, look, like it goes all, you know what Jason was talking about yesterday?
Yeah.
To say, identify the people that are spewing garbage about this so that if they do delete their post, we have a record of it.
Yeah.
That's basically what that, it seems. I don't know the people that started it, but it seems that that's what the people are doing. So they're literally just taking anybody and they're literally identifying like, this is fucked up. That is what you call it, doxing? Is that what they're doing?
Oh yeah, I definitely do not think.
Although it's right, no, but it's right on their web. You're sharing that information. You'll never find that information about me online, but they're showing that information. So is it the same if you collect it as is and copy paste it somewhere?
I mean, I don't know what the official, for me, if you put that information out there in public, like on your profile, it's fair game. That's how I agree. It should be. I don't know what
I agree.
The general consensus is on that, but that's how I feel about it.
But yeah, the whole website is really just identifying people. You got to be careful, man, what you put online, because you never know how it's going to come back to bite you in the ass.
Boeing Space, I mean, it sounds pretty cool. Boeing Space Defense and Intelligence.
Oh, works at the U.S. Department of War. Not for long, buddy.
Not smart.
Sorry, bruh.
Yeah, that's not smart. That is not smart.
Works at Boeing Space Defense and Intelligence System.
That's a good job,
brother.
Too.
You're probably not going to work there for very long anymore.
That's government contractor. I got a feeling that guy could not get another job anywhere else at that caliber. I don't know what this guy does, but I don't know if he's going to be able to just instantly find another job of the exact same caliber if you're working at.
Oh,
I mean, he's government contractor, right? So
he's DOD, Department of Defense supervisor. So he has a good job, bro. Oh, that is the type of dumb post that you want to keep for yourself.
Yes. Yeah, that's stupid. That's not smart.
Now, Sylvie seemed to ask, do you agree with such a website?
Agree with
Listen, do I agree with it?
I wouldn't make
this to me is that's exactly what I was going to say. Would I do it? No. Do I think it's okay? Do I agree? Do I think it's okay? Yeah, I think it is, because technically you can take whatever the fuck I said and post it wherever you want, and I'll live up to what I said. I will accept. If I have to make an apology, I will. Chances are I will not, because I agree with my statement. But my information's out there, like as in my views are out there.
Yeah.
When you put it out there, man, you know what they say, the hardest thing sometimes is to say nothing.
Yeah. I wouldn't make it, but I don't think it should be banned or anything. Did you want to just should we quickly just Dasso says you guys should select some mods. I've been seeing at least one obnoxious mod per I like wise guy. Can we is that a thing we can do? Can we put mods on the chat here?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
of course.
We should talk about that later then. Yeah, we'll take that.
We can select people. Yep.
We'll figure. Okay, well, let's we'll talk about that later. I just wanted to
see. That's another one. That's dangerous. You're working for New Orleans, LA, New Orleans Fire Department.
Yeah, anywhere like government or first responder. Probably not super smart.
Listen to this. I think he should be forced to carry that bullet in his body. The bullet has a right to be there because it was a gift from God.
Okay, that's just terrible. That's, I mean, obviously a shitty thing to say. It's bad logic too. It's like the whole should obviously make a comparison to his abortion stance, but like even if
obviously,
but like no one's saying that. Even if you don't necessarily think a fertilized egg is a human being, it's still different from a bullet in your body. That's not the same thing.
The thing is, this is what freedom of speech is all about. You have the right to say whatever dumb shit that crosses your mind and put it online. The problem is that it lives forever, and websites like that. I don't have a problem with websites like that because those websites wouldn't exist if people knew how to keep their mouth shut on stuff that they should just keep to themselves.
It's sort of one of those things where, like, look, this is like gossip, really. It's just the internet has allowed us to gossip more effectively and gossip to more people. But essentially, this is gossip, right? And gossip is something as old as humans itself. And nobody likes gossip. And yet it's, we all agree, we hate gossip, but it's not something you can ever stop because it's built into human nature. We're not saying every person gossips, because some people hold themselves to a higher standard, but gossip as a general concept will always exist in the human species. There will always be someone who does this. So it's more like, rather than try to like fight back against gossip or this kind of thing from happening, which it's not a battle you're going to win. I think the better thing to do is just conduct yourself in a world where this shit happens, and maybe just don't put shit out there that you don't want to be seen by millions of people if it goes viral, right?
That is exactly my point, because I have a lot of videos that went viral in the hundreds of thousands of views, if not the multiple millions of views. And guess what? You can't take that back. Be sure that what you're saying you believe in, because it could come back and bite you in the ass. And so I don't have a problem with that website. Again, I wouldn't do it. Oh, Jesus. Fucking angry Canadian. Bullet lives matters.
Yeah, it's very dark. Very dark.
I like dark jokes, though. I'm like, their life matters too. Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, but no, to answer Sylvie's question, I don't necessarily agree with it, but it's gonna happen.
The thing is that was only targeted at conservative people. This is the thing. Those websites have existed forever. Those type of reporting has existed forever. How many people have got canceled for posts? Joe Rogan got in shit for something he said 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you know that it just didn't pop on somebody's feed. No. People go on pages and start scrolling, try to look for shit. Mm-hmm. And you know what? The real question is, how do those people feel about doing it to somebody else? If it wasn't them that were targeted, would they have a problem with it? Because if you don't, guess what, bitch? You're fair game too.
Yep, I could not agree more. Okay, what do we got? We got 20 minutes. What do we got left for topics? Should we?
There's a few, but there wasn't much going on today, so we're gonna talk about guns.
Except for the Charlie Kirk thing.
Oh, it is, man. It is everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. But here is this is one thing that's interesting, because Carney is not worried about doing podcasts. I don't know if you've been checking his stuff out early.
As in, he is doing them a lot?
Oh, a bunch of them. He's always on podcasts. Okay. So here's a podcast that he was on very, very recently. I would say a day or two. Because normally the CCFR, which is the biggest gun organization in Canada, like they're pro-gun, are very on top of things. So here is Carney, because I've spoken about this before, where he has a buyback program that's going to come in effect by the end of next year, where the 2,500 models of guns that he banned
Yep.
are going to be offered up money for it. So he's going to take taxpayers' money to buy back Canadian guns. The dumbest thing ever, but yeah. Here is what Mark Carney had to say about his gun buyback.
We're not confiscating guns. People aren't going around confiscating guns. Anyone who says that is a mischaracterization.
Prominent gun control groups urging you to act swiftly on election promises on firearms. Meantime, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith went on the record at one of her recent Alberta Next town halls. I'm sure you've been briefed on it, saying that all levels of government and police within the province, including RCMP, have been instructed not to participate in any gun confiscation. What do you intend to do on the firearms file specifically, and what do you make of Premier Smith's position?
I'm not going to, the exact quote, maybe I'll leave the quote to the side, but I'll pick up one word there, confiscation. This is not about confiscation. This is about voluntary return of firearms for compensation of these firearms. And we'll run a process. Look, we'll have different processes in different provinces. I respect the decision of the province of Alberta and in their areas of jurisdiction, but this process will unroll. We're not confiscating guns.
So he's full of shit. He literally banned them, so you can't do anything with them. I can't even pass them on to my son. You no longer, this normally when a gun was prohibited, you could grandfather it, give it to someone in your family that has their license for prohibited gun. Trudeau and him completely banned it. They banned more than 2,500 different type of guns. That's on top of the variants that they banned. But this comment is perfect right here. First comment, so it's voluntary. So if it's voluntary, then drop the prohibition on them. Because people can't use them, they can't pass them down, they can't sell them anymore. So you're basically forcing the hands of people.
So you can't use them, but it's voluntary to get rid of them.
And we're going to buy it back at a fraction of the cost using taxpayers' money.
That's wild. Is it like what how much do they pay them? How much do they pay for those things? Is there a set list or like a set amount?
There was an estimate of that I've seen. I don't know if it's valid or not, but it was in the mid $1,000s, which, bro, just my Tavor, it's like $4 or $5 grand.
Really? Eh? Jesus.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. And that's not even the optics on it. That's not all the job that I've done to the trigger, to the mechanism itself. No. That is just the gun itself. You can't buy them anymore. So I'm not even sure. I could probably sell it for a lot more than what I bought it for. Like, I got rid of it years ago because I knew it was just about to get banned. So I got rid of it before it got banned. But man, I paid $3 or $4 grand 10, 12 years ago. When they were non-restricted, you could literally go hunt with them if you wanted to.
Wow.
Now, they're probably, you can't even buy them anymore, but they're worth at least $4 or $5 grand.
That's
I got some friends that have hundreds of guns and they collect those guns. And they have guns that are prohibited. Like, you cannot buy them, but they've been in guns for so long that they were able to buy them before they were prohibited. But they're going to give them peanuts. Those guns can be worth 10 grand. Alone, like, easy for just one gun. It's insane. Yeah. Guns can be fucking expensive. Like, fucking expensive.
Yeah, I mean, Pam makes a good point. It's like COVID.
Yeah.
You don't have to get the jab, but you just can't go anywhere or do anything or travel or participate in society. But you don't have to get it. It's entirely your choice. It's not really.
But you would have to add some more too. But if you choose not to get it, you might lose your car. Yeah. Because you need to add something else because there's a time limit on it. Because I can't pass it down. I cannot give it away. So there's a timer that went on as soon as he started talking buybacks. So they're trying to disarm us plain and fucking voluntold.
Man, voluntold. Yeah, not voluntary, voluntold.
I had never seen that one before. I like it.
Maxky says, I need more beer. Sylvie says, Maxky, you don't need more beer.
That is the last thing you need, bro.
Yeah, I think you're good. I think you're good, Mac.
It's called water.
Yeah. Go have a glass of water and wash all the beer down. He says, we are patriots no matter where we are. Correct. Could not agree with you more. Appreciate the comments, Mac. Where was Sylvie says, during COVID, I somehow came across a website that ridiculed people who either died or were ill. It was targeted to folks who didn't take the whoop whoop. I reported to Patreon and they felt there was nothing wrong with the content. Wait, so it ridiculed who died or were ill. What was it saying? It said these are people who died from the jab, but they didn't.
No, I think the other way around. They died being unvaccinated. That's what I'm getting.
Oh, okay.
It was targeted to folks, or it was targeted to folks that didn't take it. So the people that were on that website were people like me, for example, that didn't take it, that were making fun of people that probably took it that died.
Yeah, I mean, this seems like a bit of a crusade for Sylvia. She seems like she's got some like out of special interest in it. Like, I mean, I agree with your takes. Like, yes, I don't think doxing should be a thing and whatnot, but I just don't really care one way or the other. I don't really think it's that big a deal. Would I feel different if it was me? Yeah, probably. But that's, I'd feel different about a lot of things if they happen to me. That's just how life works.
It's one of those things that it's free speech. So
yeah.
Do I think people should do that? Not really.
No,
like morally wise,
banned. And
no.
If someone else does it, I might check it out as well. I might pop over to the website.
But if somebody goes on that website, sees your comments where you're celebrating somebody's death because they took something that ended up killing them, then you might lose your job if your boss sees your post and they don't agree with it. So that's the thing, right? The government has no right to tell you what you can and cannot say. But that doesn't mean your employer is going to want to continue employing you if you say really dumb shit. That's a consequence, right?
I kind of feel like the way I do about, the sex offender list or the pedophile list. Like, let's say the list was public, would I track down pedophiles and do bad things to them? No, I wouldn't. Unless it was like they hurt my kid specifically or something. I wouldn't personally. But if someone else does, I don't really care.
It wouldn't be a big concern.
No, I'll sleep fine at night.
I can tell you I would use it.
What's that?
I can tell you I would use that. I would definitely use that website. If I could go right now on a website, put a postal code and see all the surrounding pedophiles, I would use it today. I want to know who those people are. I want to know.
Oh yeah.
So, but does that mean I would go get rid of them? No, I can't do that. But I would know who they are, and they would know. I would be the type to tell them, I know, bro. I know what the fuck you did.
Yeah.
So get the
certainly.
If I was you, I would stay very far away from me, my son, my family.
Oh,
because I know what the fuck you did.
You have
yes.
Every right to hound someone like that out of your neighborhood for sure. Epiphany Jane says, "Thanks for having a space to talk about what's going on. Real talk is needed." No, appreciate that, Jane. And again,
that's why we do it.
That is why we do it. New Dog says, "Government buybacks are a joke. They can't even pass a background check to buy a gun." I mean, look, I didn't really know a whole lot about how gun legislation or gun registration works in this country, but it seems crazy, man. Now that I've learned a little bit about it, it definitely is excessive. It's overboard. It's way too overly harsh on people who are clearly not the problem. People who are clearly not the real threat.
No.
And to me, it's just a shit show.
Yeah, they're targeting the wrong people because at the end of the day, they don't want to catch the criminals. They just don't want to. If they really wanted to, they'd be able to catch them. They choose not to. And we're easier to target because they have our names. They know who we are. They know where we live. They know the type of guns that we have. So we're an easy target. We're easy to identify because we have to have a permit. We have to be trained. We have to report the guns that we own. So we're easy to track, right? If you're looking for people that own yellow cars, it's not very complicated to fucking find it. Most people that own yellow cars are registered somewhere. We know who owns what. But criminals, a bit harder to track. Why are you fucking Why are you laughing? I know you have a dumb comment that you're reading.
No, I'm seeing there seems to be like all of a sudden a bunch of Rumble comments here. Well, first of all, Rusty Wiener. That's what I was laughing at. I'm like, it's
It's because Rumble did an update or StreamYard did an update where before the the post would not cross from Rumble. Now the comments on my Rumble will show up on the feed.
Okay, because it just seems like we've got like one Rumble comment in 6 months, and now we've got like 3 or 4 Rumble commenters here all at the same time. So it feels like something changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys are from Rumble, well, welcome to the show. We are the Political Orphans. We're pretty show where the common sense left and right can get together, discuss the topics of the day from a common sense perspective, kind of provide a space where, you know, people can just talk about issues in a productive way, in a way that's not like 99% of the internet treats political discourse, as you can see playing out in the Charlie Kirk story. You know, I think the Charlie Kirk story shows why places like this are important. To answer your question, are you describing a psyop they stumbled across? My immediate question would be, who's funding it? Yeah, I mean, that's that. So Nico is the resident conspiracy theorist. That's right up his alley. I am not.
I can tell you that there's a lot of them out there that are starting to pop.
I think there's a lot of three-letter agency chat going.
No, a lot of videos that I've seen are towards Israel. I've seen because Charlie Kirk. Okay. There was a video not too long ago of Charlie Kirk kind of calling out Israel for some of the stuff that they did, and because the thing is that a lot of people know Charlie Kirk for the work that he did on university grounds, right? But they don't realize, like I said before, he had a radio show. He has his own podcast where he talks about conspiracy theories. He talks about what's going on. Like if you look at Candace Owens, I'm not saying that he's like her, but you know the type of topic that she'll approach. He'll approach the same. He used to approach the same topics. If you follow Ben Shapiro, he goes down rabbit holes of conspiracies and all that stuff all the time. Charlie Kirk did the same, and I'm not saying that he was speaking against Israel, but I'd have to rewatch the video altogether. But they were he was kind of implying that they were playing a big role in something. I just can't remember what it was exactly. I just saw the video. It's just, I follow a lot of conspiracy theorists, so some of the videos is like, one of them was showing that the shot's not real, because when you see the shot hit, there's the t-shirt, the way it's folded, one of the letters disappears on the t-shirt. So I follow a lot of guys like that. And there's a lot of theories out there that it's not real, that Charlie Kirk didn't get shot. It's AI.
No, that's crazy. That's crazy. Charlie Kirk.
Oh, but there's when you follow conspiracity theorists, you got to be ready.
Then it's like,
you got to be ready.
Now it's Charlie Kirk never existed at all. It's just a mirage. It's a Mandela effect or something. But yeah, I mean,
those Mandela effect do fuck with my heads though.
Some of this, you know, the one that really fucks with my head is the Fruit of the Loom one.
Bullshit.
There's a basket. You can't lie. You can lie to me about a bunch of shit. Do not lie to me about that. I know that there was a basket.
It's like, do you remember the Shazam? Not Shazam.
Shazam, yes.
The one with the black guy.
Yeah.
Whatever. Fuck. What was that?
Was it Sinbad?
That's it. Yes.
I was sure that that was a real thing, right?
Some people showed the tape. They have the tape. They're like, it existed. It's right there. Yet they tell you that it doesn't exist. Now, go down the rabbit hole of Mandela effects, and people are basically saying we're switching dimensions, or we're all in a matrix and there was a glitch. There was a reformatted of our. I love those things, right? I love to go down those rabbit holes because at the end of the day, it's very entertaining, even though they might be true, they might not be true, but there's a lot of conspiracy theories about Charlie Kirk right now that
for sure
some people are saying that the shot did not come from the front, that the shot came from the side, that what we saw there was is the exit wound, obviously. But one of the guys was a military guy when he was explaining the way the body collapsed to his side, the way the force went at an angle. The shot couldn't have been straight up. It was at an angle. So they were saying that the shot did not come from where they're saying that it came. Some people are saying that the shot came from the back. Some people are saying that it's his security guard. Just before he gets shot, he does this. He kind of scratches his arm. They're like, that was a signal that it was time to kill him. I'm like, okay, guys. Jesus.
Yeah.
It's like the security guard at all time now, they have to say, like,
it's just like a mosquito was on his arm, but I don't know.
It was a target.
You know, I think I think, over the next couple of days, we're still under some of the fog of war stuff. I think the next couple of days will be it'll clear some stuff up. But, if it could still be just a crazy radical leftist, or it could be something more, but we'll figure it out.
Now, would it surprise me that there's something behind the scene? I don't think this was a lone gunman. That is obviously something way bigger at hand, if you ask me. Because like I said yesterday, he's the perfect target to piss off the right. He's not an extremist. It's not like, what's his name? It's not Alex Jones getting shot. Alex Jones got shot. I'm not saying that I want him to get shot. That's not what I'm saying. But if he got shot, most people wouldn't really give a fuck. They're like, yeah, okay, he's been talking shit for a long time. Guess that's what happens. Yeah. Most people would not defend Alex Jones for being a good guy. Sorry, Alex Jones, but
yeah, he wouldn't.
I don't want him to get...
There would not be a bunch of videos out of him with his daughter running like, Daddy. Nothing like that. Yeah.
But Charlie Kirk is the perfect. If I had to pick somebody off the top of my head right now, that would be instantly recognizable, that everybody on the right would love, even some people on the left would like, it would have been Charlie Kirk. That's what blew my mind when I saw that yesterday. I'm like, of all people, I would have seen a Ben Shapiro. That I could have seen. That would not have surprised me because, goddamn, there's a lot of shit that he says that will piss off people. Again, he doesn't deserve to get shot. But it wouldn't have surprised me to hear that Ben Shapiro got shot. But Charlie Kirk, I was like, hey, he is like the perfect martyr. So if there was something behind the scene that they're trying to divide people even more, he is the perfect target. He is absolutely the perfect target. Is it a test? I think it is. And if we don't bite, we don't have to take the bait. And that's what my post was saying this morning. As much as this is horrendous what happened, it blows my mind literally that Charlie Kirk got shot and died yesterday. But I guarantee you, as a Christian, he wouldn't have wanted people to retaliate with violence. He would have been the first one to go against violence. So we can't take the bait. I think it's a test. And how we respond to it is going to be very telling. Very, very, very fucking telling.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. I think even over the next couple of days, it's going to get a little bit more clear. All right, guys, we're going to put a pin in that right there. We're going to try to keep this under 2 hours. Folks, if you're just tuning in for the first time, yes, I know. It's ooh-la-dee-da. You guys just tuning in for the first time, welcome to the show. Please like and share the stream. If you are on YouTube, and you should be because that's where all the action is, consider becoming a member for the low price of $2.99 per month. That will, of course, allow us to continue to bring you guys high-quality content, and you will be a supporter of independent media and, of course, this show itself. Other than that, folks, have a great night. We will see you tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And,
no, we're Thursday, bruh. We'll see you Sunday.
Thursday? Oh,
Sunday.
Yeah, that's right. Sunday night at 8 p.m.
I will be there tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but Saturday night, we do a mashup, 9 to 11 Eastern, 9 p.m. to 11. It could be longer. We don't know. We have a bunch of guests showing up. That's going to make for a great fucking conversation. Curtis, that was there yesterday. It's going to show. He's a massive conspiracy theorist. It's going to be fun for a cool conversation. But we're going to have him. We're going to have the guy that is behind the Canada Poli on X. We're going to have Goldie Gamari. She was supposed to be on the show yesterday, but I canceled on her because we're doing the Charlie Kirk thing. And she's don't worry. As Iranian people, they love Charlie Kirk because he spoke against Islam. He spoke against Islam, saying how dangerous it was for the West. So she's going to be on the show tomorrow, Saturday, to talk about that. And she'll be on this show Wednesday. But mashup tomorrow, 9 p.m. Right her.
All right. Guys, we'll catch you tomorrow. Nico, what time is it? 9 Eastern?
Tomorrow there's nothing. We catch you Saturday 9 p.m. and then Monday and then Sunday.
Yes,
Sunday.
Yep. So that's right. Saturday mashup show. Sunday back to the Political Orphans. Good to go. Have a great weekend, folks. We'll see you Sunday night.